have Thursday, I'm doing hypnosis with somebody, and that usually takes a few hours.
So. A few hours?
Yeah, usually it's like 3.
So you're in your office and you're hypnotizing them, and it takes 3 hours. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first session usually takes it's about 3 hours to do the whole thing. So
right.
Yes, it is. It's a little bit of a long ordeal, but yeah.
That's cool. Maybe she wants to be hypnotized.
Yeah.
She might, because if it's good for weight loss, she certainly will.
Oh yeah, it's great for weight loss. It's basically just working on those subconscious beliefs that we've been holding on to forever and that are running us, and we don't realize they're running us. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've had a lot of, it seems like lately, and I don't know why, but lately I've been doing more of that. And I've just got to schedule it around the other things. But it seems like I've gotten more demand for that lately, which is kind of cool.
Well, I know, especially now when people are more stressed and they've all gained the COVID-19. So I would assume that they would really need something new to do. And that would be a good thing to do, because it would take care of the stress from all this quarantine. Plus you've got to lose the weight anyway, and you've got to kind of change a lot at once.
Right. Well, and it's just targeting those subconscious beliefs that we don't know that are there, that are kind of driving us, that are
trauma. Oh, so you make them, like, you put them in a state where they remember them? Are these things people aren't even aware that is a problem or something?
So they're aware of the current whatever. So what's interesting is whatever we're dealing with, whether it be like a weight issue or a challenge speaking in front of people, or it could be, I had one girl that was having issues that her husband would ask her to go exercise, but it would trigger her every time because she had been with this guy in college that was very abusive with her about it. And he was constantly pushing her to exercise and be a certain weight. And so every time her husband, which they're in this great marriage, asks her just to go for a walk, it's like it brings this subconscious thing up in her. And she's like, and I know where it's coming from, but it's almost like I can't figure out how to handle it, control it, right? So we just so she was aware of that. I've had other people that have had like fear of heights. I had one lady that literally couldn't drive herself anywhere because if she got on an overpass, she would freak out. So even that kind of height would freak her out. She couldn't go, when she goes upstairs, it was a really big ordeal. And she didn't have any idea where that started. She just knew it terrified her to the point that she would shake and freak out if she was up high at all. Sometimes people are aware, sometimes they're not.
And so it helps them with weight loss because once they become aware of their problem,
so weight loss, a lot of times there's a subconscious program that we have that is, because we choose things based on, okay, so if you love yourself, you're going to make different choices for your body than if you don't, right? So sometimes there's a lack of like self-love. So we tend to make choices based on what we want in the moment versus ultimately what we want, because ultimately deep down we don't have that same appreciation or love for ourselves. There's that. There could be some of my people that are more obese have had something traumatic happen, whether it be like a sexual trauma or something on those lines. That happens. Or it could be just some basic beliefs. Now sometimes I've done some just basic coaching with people, and I don't have to do full-blown hypnosis, and it's just reprogramming little beliefs at a time. We kind of change little things over time. Sometimes it is, just this wiring. People believe that, oh, well, my mom was overweight, my dad was overweight, my sisters are overweight, so therefore I'm overweight.
Well, sometimes that's a little bit of it, but you can, because epigenetics, if your mom ate a bunch of sugar while she was pregnant with you, she programmed you to accept different amounts of sugar. You didn't start with a blank slate and get to screw it up yourself. She already added that for you. But you can also then still not eat properly. They also didn't teach you how to eat right. So it's a double-edged sword. You've got this DNA, but they also didn't give you good education and habits on top of that.
But that belief belief, just that sheer belief that just because my family's like this, that means I'm like this too.
Yeah.
Is not, I mean, that's a belief. So that can get shifted.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of different reasons for stuff that we do. I had one lady, she was having weight issues. It's interesting because when she was young, her family referred to her as a, what was it? Oh gosh, it was like not honey ham, but little something. I can't remember. It was like an endearing way that they are. Here's our little
butterball or something like.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Just read my mind. It was our little butterball. Oh, this is our little butterball. It's so cute because she was a little round child, right? And so in her mind, she correlated being a butterball with being loved. And so for her to lose weight would mean that, oh, they're not going to love me anymore because I'm no longer a butterball.
Oh, no.
As an adult, as a normal conscious adult, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But to a little 2-year-old subconscious belief in our brain that's like tucked away,
right?
It makes perfect sense, right? So, there was that. So it's not always something bad. Sometimes it's something like that, which is like, really? Okay.
It's like, they'll still love you.
Yeah. So, and it is interesting working with people because when you work with them, you literally are talking to their 2 and 3-year-old self. So it's pretty cool. It's really neat.
Yeah, that'll be really cool to connect to Ula. Like a lot of those women, anybody you're working with probably has other areas of their life they still need to coach together. So it'll be interesting when that is up and running.
Yeah. No. Well, I think too, this is what I've learned because you can go online and do a 12-hour course and become a hypnotist, right? So
I did that. I'm going to say, I literally done it, but I'm not ever going to hypnotize anybody because after doing it, but yeah.
The challenge too is there's such a broad brain. I mean, because anybody could just do that and start charging, right? But are they getting results? That's the other question. When I trained, I studied with someone. It was mostly clinical hypnosis, so it was very correlated to clinical situations. It was not, and it wasn't just reading a script. I mean, there's so much more to hypnosis than just, having people look like they're laying there half asleep, right? And reading them a script. I am not a fan of that kind of hypnosis. I don't think it can be effective, maybe a little bit. I don't think it's very effective though. That's just my opinion, based on working with people. Anyways, yeah. So no, I think that if they're charging that little, they probably don't necessarily know what they're doing. That's my opinion. Who knows?
Yeah, no, you actually train with somebody. No, I actually went online and I got a complete hypnotherapy and hypnosis course and a master hypnotherapy. I just wanted to know what it was about. I was really just trying to learn what is hypnotherapy. Yeah. I didn't actually ever want to hypnotize.
Yeah, and I studied neurolinguistic programming, the NLP, which I think is really cool. So I integrate a lot of NLP with the hypnosis. And also I've done the psyche, which is really to put a lot of things together to really get things done. But I think, well, the challenge too is I can't have any other patients in and out of my office when I'm doing
you have to be compensated for those 3 hours. And if you were making, I
can't have my massage therapist having other patients there. It's too much distraction going on. So
right. The noise brings them out.
I really haven't done a ton of it. It's not been my biggest focus over the past few years, obviously. So just lately, for some reason, I had somebody that wanted that. And I'm like, let's do it. And she had such amazing results that she referred 3 people. I'm like, okay.
Right. But yeah. And like I said, if you were going to, let's say you did that full time, all your hours were hypnotherapy people, you'd want to make sure you make the same amount or more money. Just if you were doing that, you don't want to cut down one practice. But at least there's no insurance to deal with, but still.
Right. That's the key right there, I think. That's my biggest headache is that insurance stuff. But yeah, because you're completely out of the insurance model, completely, right?
Yeah, I do not. I haven't taken it in 5 years because it was such a nightmare to do it in the first place. You know how they are. Mm-hmm. So people are like, why don't you take it? I'm like, girl, please. First of all, and plus with me, if I'm not giving you drugs, they're, they know my notes. They know electronically, they could see what I'm prescribing. I can't have 100 people with the diagnosis of hypercholesterolemia and have 0 of them on Lipitor.
Yep.
They catch you on that, and they're like, oh, you have 15 smokers, and why don't you have any of them on Chantix? I mean, they track you like that if they're taking insurance, and I'm like, I do not want them tracking me and forcing me to give you something that you're coming here to make sure you don't get. I'm like, if you want Chantix, go to the doctor. If you don't want it, you're coming to me, and we're not playing with that.
I just think that's so crazy to me that they're, how it's like they want people to stay on these drugs. It doesn't.
Yeah. Well, they want doctors to do what the standard of care is. They're paying you to do the standard of care. And if you are not doing the standard of care, they're going to question you about it. And if you want the Chantix and the Lipitor, you have a doctor, you pay your copay. That's the contract you have. With me, I don't have 6 people an hour. You're the person. You're paying for all those people to not be here in our way. And, exactly. And you're paying to get advice that keeps you off of all of those drugs. Mm-hmm. If that is your desire.
And that's a really good point right there.